chat right now. We got
different. So there's a lot of sound, there's a lot of noise.
Why is everybody in slow motion?
Without further ado, let's bring on Chris. Further ado. So without further ado, let's bring on Lori. Welcome back, everybody. Especially you, H.
Hello. It's been a while, guys.
It's been a while since they've seen you. Mike and I have come on a few times in January. But guys,
right.
we made the decision in December. We told you we were going to do these officially once a month now. Do a cooler prize, have a more planned out episode, and then obviously continue what we've been doing on the weekly basis. We're just like bringing you guys on in the second half to show off your grows, ask some questions. And
It'd be cool to see progress on a monthly basis because plants do change a lot after 4 weeks or 4.5 weeks, So I think that's going to be exciting. We're going to be bringing in exciting guests like we will today as well. So we're just hoping to make these once a month, but a lot better. So let's see how it goes today.
So you might notice some new stuff behind us. We've got the upgraded version of the Bud Pots coming out.
Cool. That was my shoulder.
Imagine the whole shelf came down.
I know, that'll be fun. That's what happens with cheap shows. So these here are the new Bud Pots. They have the yellow handles, a big woven label over here as well. They don't come with this little sign here. But what we did here is we took the wire out of one of the Bud Pots to show what the wire that goes on the inside here looks like. So you can see it's firm, it doesn't collapse. And it's a 12 gauge steel wire inside of it. It's super, super hard. And they'll never buckle when filling, when transplanting, or when training. So that's what they're looking like. We're excited about it because they also come in these sexy boxes here.
Fancy.
That's right. They're 4 per box. They're nicely vacuum packed now as well. And then there's the other products here, obviously, that you guys aren't familiar with. Now, we do have the Bud Huggers coming in black as well, and they're not coming in those reels anymore because it's just a bunch of plastic waste. So we figured just small cardboard boxes with the wires inside of them would be more, just environmentally friendly. So that's what we're doing now. So we're excited about this kind of upgrade to our line of products that was much needed for a while.
Yeah. You've been growing some plants too, so we'll have an update on your grow, which I'll play very shortly here. I did see Barb is in the house, and unfortunately the Bills did lose against the Chiefs, but it was rigged. It was definitely the refs, and I just want to get that out there that BudTrainer does stand with the Bills. I think they got robbed. So
Curtis stands with the Bills. I don't know much about football.
Yeah, your football is kick the ball around.
That's right, exactly.
Different shaped ball. So let's get your little update here, and then we'll bring on our special guest. After that, we'll then do my flower room update and bring on Mike so that he can.
Yes, the cool thing is that my plants that you guys are going to see now are plants that you guys saw on the last time that we came on live, the Bubba cheesecakes, and I was just starting the ice cream cakes. So
that would have been right before Christmas.
That's right.
So so if you want to go back and watch that afterwards, you can check that out and see how big of a change it's been since H last showed off his plants. So let's play this right now.
Quick tent update. It's been a long time. What I have down here is a strawberry banana grape seedling that I started 3 weeks ago. And it's going not as fast as I wish it was. The leaves are pretty small, as you can see. And I think that's because the humidity in my place now, because it's really cold and the furnace is on all the time, is really low, like as low as 30% sometimes. And in this room here, it gets really low as well. Seedlings don't like low humidities, and even inside of a dome like that, sometimes it still happens. So what I need to do there is add more water to the bottom so that it increases the humidity to about 80%. But nonetheless, we have here a beautiful Bubba cheesecake that is coming out full of crystals. Still has a couple of weeks to thicken up the buds, and it smells very strong. Yeah, it's great.
The Bubba cheesecake's always great for the terps, man.
Yes, well, Seedsman Bubba cheesecakes are always the best. I've been growing this strain for a long time. This is another Bubba cheesecake right here. As you can see, I did a bit less default. This is the mother plant. Yeah, that's right. That's the mother plant right there that Curt is currently growing now.
Well, you're
with-
gonna see my update in a minute. No, I don't know, man. We'll
You don't
see.
know?
I think I'm a 1 plant kind of guy, or
Uh-oh.
a 2 plant, or a
Uh-oh.
4 plant. Maybe not 12.
This is an ice dream cake here that's been vegging for about 7 weeks now. It's going a little bit slower than I was hoping for, again, because the humidity has been so low, and plants in the veg stage like a bit of a higher humidity. Right now we're at 60% here. I would like to be at 65 or a little bit above so that it can really take off. But nonetheless, it's got a good structure here. We were able to do the BudTrainer method, and we're just waiting for these branches to grow a little taller so that we can start weaving it under the trellis net here. Then I'm going to switch it to flower maybe in about 5 days or so. And that's it for my grow update for today, guys.
All right. Well, you still doing your thing. They're smelly down here.
Honestly, like, I could be adding a humidifier to all intents, but I hate dealing with humidifiers. I have gone through so many humidifiers already, and then the water here, where we live, as you know, is very hard, and that just causes so much buildup in the humidifier. So I'm kind of like past the, put a humidifier in each tent, and the humidity here is really low. So the plants that are bigger, they put out a lot more humidity. They're actually fine, and they're in the flowering stage, so they can withstand a lower humidity. But the veg ones, like the seedling, they're just not liking this low humidity environment, and I might just have to do something about it, because it just delays the process. Like the veg plant that I have, the grow box right now, could be much further along had it been, given the humidity that it needs. But
yeah, I mean, we love training, but the environment and then feeding obviously are probably two of the most important things. So if you have a bad environment, like we get people asking us questions about the plants all the time, and one of my first things that I look at is what's the background of the plant that I'm seeing, because if it's just on their shelf in their kitchen, like not even in a real tent, I'm like, guys, it's probably an environmental issue. We probably have to invest in a tent or something else, or wait till the outdoor grow. So and even on the humidifier I have at home, I just bought a new one. I'm using distilled water just because I don't want that calcium buildup, and then it's trash in a few months here. So that's Waterloo region water for you guys. Do not drink tap water here. So it was coming out of my house at a 1.7 BC. Remember that?
Yeah.
That's why I got some more treated water for my plants. Speaking of all this fun stuff,
well, let's see what happened to the mother plant.
No, I'm gonna save that for right before when Mike comes on.
Because that's okay. Gotcha.
But let's bring Lori on right now.
Yeah,
and
perfect.
maybe she can scold you.
And
for
just before we bring her on for us, so everybody knows, Lori was the person who taught me and I at college, where I learned pretty much everything that I know about growing cannabis. They have a commercial cannabis production program that teaches you everything you need to know to grow plants at scale. And once I learned what I learned there, and I learned what I knew from growing at home, I applied a lot of that knowledge to my own home grow, which is what you guys saw here.
I'm sure humidity was one of those things she taught you about. So without further ado, let's bring on Lori.
Let's bring Lori in. Hi, Lori. How are you?
Hey guys, I'm good. How are you?
Doing excellent. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me. So it's a pleasure as always. I think these are actually some of the plants we did for you once, a trial in the canna bunker there with their bud clips.
Right on. Well, there we go. That's awesome. That's the experiment that we did there in the canna bunker, isn't it? Yeah,
yep.
I recognize that picture. Thanks for putting it in the background. So for those of you guys who don't know, we did a small study at Niagara College where we tested some plants with the bud clips and some plants without the bud clips. And it turned out that the plants with the bud clips yielded an average higher yield, but because of the way that the study was set up, the average yield overall, or the total yield overall, the bud clips plants came slightly lower. However, we think that the setup on the place wasn't proper for plants that were trained, because lights they don't change their height, but the plants that are trained are always lower. So the plants that weren't trained, they ended up getting more light because they ended up being a bit taller. Whereas in an environment where you actually train your plants, your lights are typically closer to your top of the canopy. But that was a very fun experiment. I think that the plants that are like closest to the screen here were actually ones that were trained, and then the other ones that were also trained were the ones right in the corner of the room, as we can see here.
Yeah. No, it was a fun trial. It was fun for the students. Yeah.
It was definitely interesting for me because I didn't go to school for all this. I just learned secondhand from H, which he's a great teacher. I'm definitely up to speed with. But yeah, it's just a very cool facility. Seeing even the mother room, the ladies that you're keeping alive in there is very cool. So again, something I'm working on myself, a little flower room, and slowly upgrading things. But yeah, what's your take on H's humidity situation?
Yeah, I have the same problems. Yeah. In the wintertime, it's a little bit harder, right? With the lower humidity levels and stuff growing. So yeah, you definitely need to have that bit higher humidity. I know a lot of people growing cannabis typically think, no, I need to keep it around 40-50%, but you're really not doing your plant any justice keeping your humidity that low. You need to get those transpiration rates going, right? You need the plant transpiring, pulling those nutrients up from the roots. So that's really, humidity is kind of the part of that as well, helping those plants kind of pull those nutrients up. Yeah, opening up those stomata, right? Just getting the right environment for your plants. Yeah.
Yeah, and some licensed producers, they will go with sometimes very high humidities, very high temperatures as well, which keeps the VPD where it has to be, but the plant is just processing so much faster, right?
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, cannabis, yeah, it definitely grows like a weed, that's for sure. In the right conditions, yeah, definitely.
So you're obviously an educator in the more commercial space and helping people learn how to get into the industry that way. But you're also a home grower, which is the bulk of our viewers, I'm sure. Maybe the odd commercial grower pops in here for a second. But what are some of the things that you've brought from the commercial side into your own grow on a smaller scale?
I think a lot of people are kind of starting to bring in their own, little irrigation systems, things like that, some timers, maybe a few more sensors into their grow tents to try to monitor that environment as well. So, and that's huge in the commercial industry, right? As you're constantly monitoring your environment, monitoring your irrigation, how much are you giving your plants all the time, things like that. So yeah, I think that's kind of, a little bit going into the home grow now too. More people buying a bit more equipment for the home grow. It's no longer just kind of growing in your closet anymore, right? So, yeah.
Yeah. Make sure you set up your schedule properly, like I've learned. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Don't miss
watering
that irrigation.
issues. And don't overdo it either. It's one or the other, right? But what would you say for you personally that you learned from just the commercial cultivation that you were able to bring to home growing? Because not everything is applicable. Obviously, like plant training, for example, there's not that much plant training in commercial cultivation apart from using your trellis net. But people don't go as far as using low stress training clips, tying branches all over their pots and so on in a commercial grow, right? But there are other things that commercial growers do that's really useful, like for example, their fertilizers, their humidity controls. I think for me, mainly was just learning how to water the plants properly, because before it was hard to do. But what was it for you, Lori, that I guess made you a much better home grower? Like, what changed?
I think for me, it definitely monitoring the fertilizer too, and I enjoy the elemental feeding portion of it. To be honest with you, we teach elemental feeding in the program, and a lot of commercial growers will use that as well, where basically you're taking those base salts and kind of mixing your own custom fertilizers. So I do enjoy doing that as well, but it's definitely also with the irrigation strategies too. It's something to kind of define art, right? Those irrigation strategies and actually letting your root zone dry down, right? Giving it that bit of dry down period, letting those roots kind of go out and search for the nutrients, the water that they need. And I think that's something a little bit more kind of bringing home to the home growers to learn too. Just the dry backs of it, right? And even when you're in flower, to maybe run your crop a little bit drier, right? And kind of it stresses it out a bit. It kind of helps that flower production in a way, kind of letting your root zone dry down a bit more. So I think, some of those strategies I kind of maybe brought home with me a little bit more, I think.
Very cool. So obviously rock wools, the main media that you use in the commercial space? I know we got a lot of organic growers in here, a lot of cocoa growers. What do you use at your own place, or you rock wool at home as well?
You know what? I'm a through and through soil grower. Like like my background is, nursery production, like large scale nursery production, and things like that with perennial plants. So for me, I'm a soil grower. Outdoors, I'll typically grow more organic, because honestly, it's a little less maintenance for me, for fertigation and things like that, mixing fertilizers. I can kind of set it and forget it in the pot in a way. Indoors, I use more of the elemental feeding, salt-based fertilizers, but pretty much soilless mix. Yeah, I do like it. I find it's sometimes a little bit more forgiving too, right? Rock wool, if you have something like stone wool, you really have to stay on top of it. You pretty much need an irrigation system for something like that. It's not necessarily a media that you want to be hand watering all the time.
And how would you compare? Obviously, the stuff at the school does get destroyed, unfortunately, as sad as that is. But how would you compare your experience between like a non-soil media versus your organic?
Yeah,
crops?
I find that like typically the hydroponic medias, they grow a little bit quicker, right? You can really steer the plant growth in them a little bit more. So you can really kind of feed those roots exactly what they need at that time. Whereas the soilless ones, sometimes they take a little bit more to get going, right? Organic soils, typically it's a bit heavier of a soil sometimes. So sometimes it just takes a bit longer for those plants to get started. So sometimes, like I typically recommend too for, home growers or people, some of our students starting to grow at home to kind of do that intermediary transplant phase. So instead of going directly from a clone into a 3-gallon, 5-gallon pot, you might want to, maybe transplant it into, a 4-inch pot or a 1-gallon pot. Let those roots kind of grow out from there, and then transplant into your larger size. Just kind of helps the plant out a little bit more. It's not struggling in that larger soil, right, to start with.
So with transplanting, right, it's kind of like a topic that everybody has different opinions on it, but like, what is too much transplanting and what is, not transplanting enough? For example, like doing one, a bigger container every week, or, what would you say is the rate of transplanting, and when should be your last one?
Yeah, I honestly think it should just be one a lot of times. So if you're going into maybe a 2-gallon pot, then sure, go ahead and put your clone into that. But I would say maybe only one transplant out of that smaller pot into another one. You don't want to continuously, disturb your plant. You're stressing your plant out slightly every time you're doing the transplant. Autoflowers don't necessarily love, transplanting. Typically with an autoflower, you might want to just put it in that pot and set it and forget it. I know typically from what I've seen, what I've heard, 2 to 3-gallon pots is always good for an autoflower, right? You just kind of leave it, set it, forget it. So yeah, maybe just 1 to 2 transplant phases, and that would be about it. Yeah.
H has done some transplanting with autos with the bud cups. Been
Yeah.
very successful.
Yeah, it works well with the bud cups. We start the autoflower seeds in the bud cups.
Yeah, that would be perfect. Yeah.
About 3 weeks later, because just popping that bottom of the bud cups, the roots don't get disturbed. So we just check, and when there's enough like roots just poking through the sides, ready to kind of like grow out, then we just do the transplant, and the autoflowers seem to have loved it. It's kind of like you would look at them 6 hours later, and they were all praying up, and they didn't mind the new home,
Yeah, that would be good for when starting out a seed or a clone, like a seed like that would be good just from your bud cup into the final container size, and then that would be it. Yeah.
So what I guess for people who don't understand that, like, transplant is all from a seedling, right? Or sort of from a seed, because when you clone, you need to start with a plug anyway, so you can transplant that either into a smaller container than a bigger one, or just into your final one. But when you're starting from seed, what is the difference between starting a seed in its final large container, say a 3-gallon or a 5-gallon, versus starting on a cup like the bud cups or a red solo cup and then transplanting?
Yeah, so that would be kind of the same premise of just starting your clone in your little starter media, and then that's going into your next transplant. So yeah, you could start a seed in your solo cup and your bud cup. So you could start it in a little rooting plug media as well. But that would just kind of be that starter phase, right? And then you would be just transplanting up from there. But it is nice with the bud cups, because you typically, sometimes if you're planting in a solo cup, you got to squish the sides, you kind of rip some of the roots, you're disturbing some of the roots on the sides of those solo cups. with the bud cup, it is nice because, like you say, you can just kind of push it up from the bottom. You don't have to squish and disturb, and then you're also not disturbing some of the pore spaces in your media as well, right? So with the loose media, you want to make sure you have some nice pore spaces in there for air and for water, right? So if you start crushing that media, you're kind of crushing some of those pore spaces in your media too. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Just gonna check in with the chat here, guys. If you have any questions that you want to ask Lori, please just post them in there. Please try to keep it along the home growing side, but yeah, happy to bring in a couple questions.
Well, you can ask advanced questions as well.
Yeah, you can ask advanced if you want. But actually, speaking of advanced, if you guys do want to up your grow game to the level that H is at, you should check out the program at Niagara College.
That's right.
Very cool way to get into the industry. Obviously, you don't have to end up working at a commercial facility. You can take that knowledge and start a business like H did, or go into whatever floats your boat after you get that awesome education there. You can check out their website at bit.ly/NCCannabis. Shorten up the link that you sent me, Lori, so it's a bit easier for them to type in. Got to know the demographic here. It's hard to do that transfer from the screen. But here we have a question from Mike. What do you do in between grows to clean drippers with the salt and debris buildup?
Yeah, good question. Yeah, we actually, I always recommend just kind of we always wash them out. We'll always flush them out. But we typically soak them at least for 24 hours in like a hydrogen peroxide solution. Just to help clean out all that organic matter, help to kind of sanitize the lines, and just give them a good rinse again. So we just make sure all the debris, because biofilms build up over time in your drip lines. So yeah, you can soak them in a hydrogen peroxide solution overnight to help clear all that out.
Awesome.
Yeah.
We had a question about, should I do a 5-foot scrog or use bamboo sticks before flour instead?
Oh, I'd like to see a 5-foot scrog. Yeah,
Yeah, there you go. There's your answer.
Bamboo,
Reggie.
Bamboo can host pest and disease. So it's, you might be bringing in some pest and disease with some bamboo, right? So yeah, go for the scrog.
There you go.
100%. So, Lauren, like you were a student of the program when it first started, in 2018?
Yeah, 2018. Yeah, I was in the inaugural class. Yep.
So that's 6-7 years ago.
6 years ago.
I'm going to come up to 7 years this year now, right? So what has changed in the industry? Because by 2018, there were so many companies out there. Like it was a boom of the cannabis industry, and things have changed, But now, like you still have some of those old companies around. And what are some things that you saw kind of like not happening anymore that are kind of like the trends now going forward?
Oh, so much has happened in the industry. This, honestly, the industry moves at the speed of light, right? And we try to keep up with everything. Definitely some consolidation of a lot of the different companies out there. I think over the years, we started seeing more licensing for micro cultivators as well. I think early on, everybody was going with the standard license, building these huge, massive facilities. And the trend kind of changed over the years, going towards the micro cultivation, more of the craft grow. And it seems like that's where the markets are too. I think a lot of customers kind of like that, the craft grow, the small batch, definitely a lot more products on the market now too. Now that there's, some different Health Canada regulations along the way as well. So we're seeing some different products on the market. Maybe I see a bit more coming up now about cannabis tourism. Maybe that might be a new kind of thing coming out with cannabis industry, right? We have farm gate stores now. So yeah, a lot has really changed over the years for sure. So honestly, with us as a program at Niagara College too, we're constantly trying to keep up with the new trends. So we do have, we're connected with industry, just kind of chatting with them, seeing what's new, seeing what the changes are that's coming along. So we can keep up and make sure we're teaching our students kind of everything and what's new and happening within the industry. Yeah.
I know a lot of home growers do get very picky. Like I myself don't really like to go to the dispensary and pick up their stuff. But I think the micro cultivators are kind of that in between, right? Where it still kind of feels like the hands-on process and lots of, love and attention put into it rather than at a mass scale. And on the tourism side, imagine like a Airbnb at a micro cultivator for a little week. You know, that'd be a cool little venture for somebody to do. So,
And for those of you guys who don't know, like a micro cultivation in Canada is a license for you to grow cannabis legally and be able to supply to the market, but it limits it to 2,150 square feet, which is how much canopy area you can have. After that much, if you want to grow more, you need to apply for a standard license, which is a lot harder to get. It needs a lot more security, and it is typically for the much bigger facilities. But as Laurie was saying there, a lot of the larger companies that were producing cannabis, unfortunately, the one thing that I guess they haven't figured out yet for cannabis is how to produce at scale and maintain that quality, because a lot of players came in, produced a lot of cannabis, but the cannabis wasn't up to par with the quality of, say, the micro cultivators, and people still want quality, right? So prices came down a lot in the industry, as it happened in Canada and happened in many states.
I think there's a mix though, right? There's lots of people who are happy to try and find an $80 ounce or even less these days, and they don't grow, so they don't really have maybe the palate that they need, and they're looking for quantity over quality, and that's fine. I mean, there's always that segment. There's the McDonald's of the world, and then there's the kegs, and then there's the one-off family steakhouses that are separate about that. So yeah, definitely a mix there.
Yeah, there's definitely lots of different avenues within the cannabis industry for sure.
It's an interesting ride. So guys, unless we have any more questions, Laurie, thank you so much for coming on again.
No problem.
Did we do the first visit with you before we did the study, or was that after?
I think it was. I don't remember, to be honest with you. I'm not sure.
Been a while.
Yeah. If I was going to mention too, if there is anybody interested in the cannabis program, we do have an open house coming up this spring as well. So we do have an open house coming up March 29th at both campuses, Welland and Niagara-on-the-Lake. But our program is located at the Niagara-on-the-Lake campus. And I think it's from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. So yeah, you can come on out, get campus tours, come talk to us about the program. We'd love to have you.
Right across the border. I think we have a lot of American viewers. So if you're in Buffalo or New York, it's not too far of a drive to
go spend a night in Niagara Falls, have some fun, and go visit the campus during the day.
Yeah, and your dollars can go very far.
That's right. It will go
the
very far.
It's favorable for you guys right now. So very cool. All right. Well, Laurie, thank you so much. If there's anything else you want to say, you guys can follow the Cannabis Bunker as well at NC Canna Bunker. There's a very cool video you sent us. I just don't want to play it in case we get copyrighted and get shut down on our live here. But they did this hour is 22-minute segment on the cannabis program. So it's a cool little. I think it's this hour has 22 minutes.
Yeah, this hour has 22 minutes. Yeah, it was a fun little segment we did. Yeah, some of our students were involved in it there, and it was fun.
Yeah, very cool. All right, well, thanks again. We'll have to have you on again in the future here.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you so much for having me, guys, and have a great day.
You as well, Laurie. Bye-bye. Enjoy your weekend.
All right, that was Laurie. Always a fun guest to have, different perspective on this industry for sure. And
that's right.
Obviously advanced, like your level advanced and taught you, so that just goes to show.
Hey guys, like the program at Niagara College is really awesome. Like if you ever want to work in the industry and you kind of like need a foot to get in, it's a 1-year program. I mean, 2 semesters back to back. It's a full-time program, but it's really intense. You just learn everything about cannabis. You learn about processing. You learn about regulations. You learn about analytics. You learn about testing. You learn how to make your own fertilizer, how to reverse engineer fertilizers. You learn all sorts of good stuff.
Sounds like everything.
Everything. Yeah, that's a lot of fun.
There you go. You can start your own micro cultivation, Airbnb. Take my idea. I'll take 1% of the company. It'll be fine.
You get to smoke for free.
Yeah, free visits at the very least. Come on, guys. All right. Well, as promised, I have an update video from my flower room, and then we're gonna bring Mike on, and then we'll bring you guys on. If you want to show off your grow, ask some questions, just flex on how much.
Should we put the link up? Or did you already?
I haven't, but I will do that while my video is playing.
Okay, sweet.
So yeah, we'll check in on mine. Guys, I do not have an education in commercial cannabis production like Laurie or H, and Mike is just a guru. So anyways, that's me making excuses before I get in public.
Happy Friday, everybody. It is the first big Growin Buds of the new year. We're going to be doing this monthly thing, as I'm probably sure we've just been talking about. But I'm here for a check-in in my basement grow room. And unfortunately, I figured out something just after, well, I guess at the end of the stretch phase. And my additional waterings that I set up with my Wi-Fi controlled outlet were only active for 1 day out of the week. So for the rest of those days, my plants were getting watered, but severely underwatered. So I think that is definitely the cause of how short they have remained. And as you can see here, nowhere, well, maybe a couple of them just barely reached that first level, but they are short, they are stocky at least. And I'm really hoping that the second half of flower gives me some nice fat buds on these top colas to make up for how short they are. Obviously, I've got some of the lower bud sites exposed as well, so we'll see what happens. It's kind of a bit of a bummer, but I'm not going to be giving up 3 months into this grow. We're going to ride it out. I've fixed the watering issue. They do look healthy. They're starting to put trichomes out even on the sugar leaves, so maybe this will be a decent run after all. But as I've said in previous videos, I am definitely a lower plant kind of guy, longer veg, not looking to maximize my yield per year, really worry about too many stats. I come down here to enjoy gardening and play around with my plants with some training. And then, I'm good enough at growing now where I can do 1 or 2 runs and not do it perfectly and still have more than enough for my consumption habits. So can't even really see the underneath of this canopy. I did do a little bit of defoliation, but because they're so short and stocky, I didn't really want to get in there too much, take off too much of this growth because there's just not that much to remove. So definitely a interesting experiment. As I've said, probably try 1 or 2 plants with this setup next time and enjoy the process a little bit more. So again, this was my fault. Got to double check your water settings when you're using your auto irrigation. And although they always were perked up when I came and saw them, I'm sure they were dying for water overnight and at the end of the light cycle when I was fast asleep. So anyways, back to the bud studio we go.
All right, H and I were just howling, laughing in the background because he thinks I'm being a little bit too hard on myself and the plants look okay. But he also hasn't really seen Mike's plants. So let's bring on our friend Mike right now. He's ready to go. Mike, welcome back, my friend.
I also was howling back there too.
For a different reason, though. You're like, I'm kicking this kid out.
Listen, this is how many times I'm watering mine, right? But see how it says every day, every day. Yeah, there's no Monday, Tuesdays in there. Is that the similar app that you're using, eh? One of those kind of things?
Yeah, one of those kind of things.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of wild that it automated timer, but it defaults to just 1 day out of the week. Like, if I'm automating something, can we not assume I want it every day? But anyways, that's just programming. So
They're wrong assumption.
yeah,
You-
the engineers, they clearly don't grow. Like, grow some plants and figure this out.
You
guys.
should leave a legit review.
Yeah.
Like, be careful.
My plants were dying overnight because you guys.
Now, to their defense, this is probably the person who uses this. I have that same Wi-Fi setup that you have, and I have it for my mother's. And I have days off during the week because I don't want to water them every day. So, I mean, the normal user who's using one of those things probably isn't watering 7 times a day. You know what I mean? Whatever. All right, well, let me switch his cam and let's get back into it. All right, see that?
Yeah. Let me break. This is a big solo layout here.
So you guys can hear me on this mic too, I'm hoping.
Yeah. Perfect.
Perfect. Everything is working as intended. So
Guys,
we
share
are.
this link wherever you are. We need to pump these numbers to get that second giveaway going. We're only at 57 from our screen here. But anyways, take it away, Mike.
So I did, making mistakes happens all the time. So see this little plate I have here, one of these, I don't know, IKEA plates. I had it underneath and I was checking the runoff and I suck it up with a syringe. I check it, but I forgot it in there for 2 days. So this plant here there was no dryback because the plate was full and it kind of sat in there. And like, as you can see, there's a little bit of buildup here on all the other ones. And this one, there's not. It was extremely wet. Now, that being said, it doesn't look it doesn't look that bad, so I'm okay with what happened here.
Oh, man.
But yeah, man, the tent we're day, I think, 37-ish, around there,
Okay, but
less than 4.
This is why we say do not defoliate your plants in the first 21 days, and you should definitely water them as much as you can in that stretch phase, because this is the difference right here, guys. Like, not even comparable. But anyways, it's good. I'm happy for you, Mike. I'm not salty about it. If I
Not
were
salty
losing the
at all,
H, I would be salty. But that's not the case. So yeah, what's this strain again for those who are?
This is the Queen by Copycat. So this is definitely a hunted pheno that is quite. This is the best of the best. You know what I mean? This is not something I'm still pheno hunting. As you can see, the leaf buildup. It's starting to like there's many of these that are. Like look at the trichomes on the fan leaves. This is like I said, it's been a hunted and this is a keeper cut for sure. And it is phenomenal.
Yeah. In case you guys missed that, my plants are behind his as well, but they are done stretching, so I'm not really gonna catch up.
Yeah. So there is.
But I will
there
beat
is.
you at Call of Duty later.
Yeah, you could try. And listen, what happened with the Leafs and the Senators last time they played? Oh yeah, that's right. The Sens beat them.
It's okay. What are we at the top of the conference, and you guys are fighting for a playoff spot still? Or are you fighting, or are you just relegated to a good draft pick by now?
Whoa! It could be a Toronto-Ottawa first round, man.
Yeah, that would be killer. I missed the battles of Ontario.
Yeah, it'd be killer too, because that's when I would get into some season tickets and get some playoff tickets and sell all my playoff tickets and pay for my season tickets.
Yo, Mike, how many plants are in the tent right now?
He's got more than
24.
24.
And I have 12.
No,
We're 16. I have 16.
16.
24.
Yeah.
Wow. Are you going to do that again, Mike, or is it just like...
He said he likes the Bud Cups better and the sock setup better than the straws. So
Really?
Yeah, so it was a lot of work. So the initial work of getting 30 clones, that's a downside, right? Because you need to have the, healthy mothers to be able to take 30 clones to fill 24, to get, have an extra couple. And then you have to have a high plant count, right? Like that, I have 98 I'm allowed to grow inside, so I'm well within my range. But that could be a problem for some people. But other than that, the only work that I've done to this is put up a trellis net and defoliate at day 21. That's it. Every other growing method that I've used, whether it was the 12 plants last time, right, which was 3-gallon 12s and the plants were like on the roof and it was stupid, or the one plant Scrog 5-gallon one plant that covered the same area, way more work. So my back is good this run. So for that reason alone, I'm going to be experimenting with it more. And this next run, I'm going to be doing from seed 12-12 right into the bud cups with the same drippers in the same space and see what 24 from seed will look like. Now, I think I may have to do a lot more training, probably some topping to keep it within its, to keep it from overlap. But I'm also, like, you can see there's a bit of space here. So it's another con here with the trellis net. You're really stuck with where you're at. So my brother has a 3D printer. So I got the printing file from Curt for the bases. So they're going to be ready tomorrow. So I'm going to have 24 bases for these now. And next run, I'm going to start them, and I'm not going to put the trellis net up right away. So a few things that I've learned, but man, for something that for first time doing this in my space in my house, I'm stoked, man. I'm really, and I mean it's stacking, man. And even the secondary buds are very nice.
Yeah, man, you did
Inside.
a killer job.
Yeah, no, they're looking great. And like the 24 that you have in there, you set it up on a 5x5 and then nothing in the middle kind of thing?
What, sorry?
Like your grid with 24 plants, is it 5 plants by 5 plants, and then which would make 25, but you don't have one in the middle?
No, so
think
what I
it's
did
better.
was I did kind of weird spacing, and I did it so it looked
Okay.
cool. Look at, I got a row of yellow there, I got a black one here, and then I got
Ah,
a row of black ones there. It looked cool when you could see through. But I did 4, I think I did 4, and then like 4 this way, 4 starting here, and then the next row 4 starting there. And I kind of cut it in half and did, you know, so 4, 4, 4, 4, right? Is that how it works?
Yeah.
4, 8. No, yeah. So
that would
3
be
rows
16,
of 4.
20. Okay.
3 rows of 4 in each half. So again, this is a 4x4 tent.
12. It's
Yep.
a 4x4 tent?
It's a 5x5 tent, but I use it to have
Oh,
like,
okay,
so
okay,
there's
yeah,
the
yeah,
that's where the flood table ends, and then I have
Yeah.
that extra
yeah.
spacing,
And
right?
he's
For
got
my
a
heaters and
And a humidifier in there, like
yeah, you got sometimes you got to keep it dry and wet.
No, but that's the thing. I've tried so many humidifiers. I literally.
But how's your water in Ottawa? Like, do you guys need water softeners? Like,
Well, yeah. So
your
I'm
fridge?
out in the bush, right? So I have a softener, I have an iron filter, and then I have another whole house filter and a UV light, and my PPMs are through the roof. So then also have RO. So I reverse osmosis all of my water, and then that's how I still treat it. Shout out to Shawnee Mack. He's a water treatment guy, and he told me I was not treating it because I'm like, why would I soften it if I'm going to clean it with RO? But it was going through way more. So I have a staging area here where the RO water comes in. This is all RO, just aerated, and then I bring it over here, and I have a pump that goes from here to here. I fill this one up to 25 gallons, mix my newts, and then water from this, and then this refills within a day.
there's going to be some person who's never grown before looking at this going like, oh my God, what am I getting?
Dude, that's it. That's unreal. Yeah, no, that's.
We have a question in
Next
the
level.
chat from a little while back. Maybe we can all answer this together. Darian says he has a tent with some cannabis plants, but lots of extra space. Are there any veggies you can grow along with them? Well, why don't you just veg them a little bit longer, man? Do some training. You can look like Mike's tent right now with one plant.
That's
You
right.
Scrog it out, right? So, but what would you suggest growing? I've heard you can grow like beans.
Yeah, beans are good because they climb, and you can put them in the corner of the tent. Tomatoes wouldn't be so good because they take up a lot of room and they have a lot of leafage. Same thing with peppers. What else? Cucumbers could be okay, although they have big leaves, but they do climb, so you can set it up in a way that it's not blocking the light. Anything that's not going to block the light from your cannabis plants.
Yeah, even like just a cover crop might be your best bet. I don't know if you could do like some microgreens or something that you can actually consume for cover crop. But that might be a nice idea for that. I mean, we're not necessarily the most organic growers ourselves, so
No.
it might be better to find somebody who's doing it
That's
fully
right.
organic. Niagara Homegrown is a good friend of ours who posts quite a bit. So follow him on Instagram, ask him some questions. And yeah, Mike's back in his studio.
Yeah, I can you bring in my presentation? If I had this up because I know Lori was talking about. I'd like to see.
IG thing? Oh, I can.
Yeah.
I did not know guests could do that. There you go.
Yeah,
so that's your Floraflex Scrog plant.
Yeah, that's
you can see the whole logo. What a great design by them. That was a
Yeah.
smart move.
and then that's me cutting it down. But there's the weather in LA when I was going there. So let's bring that out. But that was in that same space that I just showed you, but one plant, and that's the size of the freaking thing. It was ridiculous. But imagine the amount of work that goes into that, right? To like, I was a month and a bit of veg in there. So the cocoa grew great, and it grew great bud, and there was lots of big buds on there, lots of good washing material. You know what I mean? Like it worked out great, but it for somebody who doesn't have back problems, it is a way to maximize your space, right? You have one plant. You know, some people only have 4 plants, right? That's possible.
Yeah.
And that's why I always make fun of plant counts. I go, look, there's one plant in the same spot, or 24, and it's
the lawmakers don't understand what you can do, right? So
nope.
yeah, awesome. Well, Mike, thanks for showing me up again. We'll do this again soon and keep updating throughout flower. Maybe I'll get you on with just you and me in 2 weeks.
Go figure, man. Mike had a beautiful plant during the Global Grow Cup. You know what I mean?
Don't put that on.
Just kidding,
that
man.
one died before the flower stage really kicked in, so it's okay. He's coming back with a vengeance now.
Never gonna happen again.
All right, Mike. We'll chat with you in a couple weeks, buddy.
All right, man. Have a good one, guys.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah. All right, we got a couple people in the back here, Michael and Nectrified Farmer. So we're going to bring you on in just a second, but I'm also going to get our giveaway counter started up at least, so we can start collecting some entries here. H, what do you want to do for the hashtag?
Grow in 2025.
Grow in 2025. All right, so I'm going to share this very quickly so you guys can see what to put into the chat. So this will only work on YouTube, X, or Facebook chat. So if you're on Instagram, sorry, it's just the limitations of our software. Head on over to YouTube, Facebook, while we bring on some more friends to show off their grow, and we'll give away a Big Bud bundle this time, guys. Not just a $25 gift card. We're going to give away a Big Bud bundle that includes bud cups, bud huggers, bud pots, bud clips, and that's our entire line of products for your garden. So do put that Grow in 2025 or Growin 2025 if you put the in and the grow together. And should we do a little tea break before we bring on our friends?
Yeah, it's a little tea break.
Okay, so let's play our tea break, and we'll be back on the other side of that. We'll start off with Mike. All right, fun times. Michael, welcome to the show. I think you're muted, Mike.
Yeah, hey, what's up, guys?
Oh, there we go.
How's it going?
Pretty well,
Excellent.
pretty good. Just a little under the weather. My daughter, patient zero, gave us off the flu. So
That's a nice present to give to a hardworking father.
yeah, but we're pulling through. We're getting better. But I definitely want to jump on here, guys, and show you the update from the transplant I did on this show in this 7-gallon AC Infinity pot. So as you can see, it has tremendously grown. The left side of this is skunkberry. And
right, you have the 2 in that one pot, right?
Yeah, 2 in 1. And then this one is strawberry cough. And if you notice, this is strawberry cough coming out of here, back here, up here, here. I mean, this thing is just, and the smell, it smells like strawberry fields in the middle of gasoline. It's just amazing.
That's amazing. So the one definitely stretched quite a bit more than its counterpart.
Yes. Well, I did exactly what you guys said. You said turn the lights down a bit. I did that. I just kind of tested it. And when I got to about 70%, oh, man, they start just standing up. So They're coming out.
So you were giving it too much light originally.
Yeah, it was too much light. They just couldn't take it. I was getting a lot of crinkling. If you notice, you see the ripple in here. It's not crinkling anymore, but the leftover crinkle here from that intense light, it just didn't like it. So I'm at day 49 of flower, and these babies are just. I mean, guys, look. You remember this was 2 plants. One I harvested already, and then this one started growing up after I pulled the first one out. So that was amazing.
That's interesting for sure.
And that one you didn't want to train much?
Yeah, well, you know what? Honestly, I know Curt, H, you guys, we do like to train things, but certain phenos, I want to just see the expression of the plant.
Right.
So for this one, I wanted to see the expression because I've never grown this particular one a photo period of green crab.
Right.
So I wanted to just let it express itself and see what would happen. And I mean, golly, look, it's taking over the tent. It's trying to take over the tent.
Yeah, for sure. We haven't grown without topping and training.
Yeah, well, but I think that because the branches on that one caught up, like the bottom branches really caught up to the top. If you do a topping the next time, you're gonna get a really wide, spaced out canopy.
Right, and that's kind of what I was trying to avoid because of this one. And you guys got to see this one. This one right here is an exotic that I got through IGLM. This is Gelato Sunrise by Phylos. Look at the size of these leaves.
Yeah, huge.
I was like, what the heck?
What do you have growing underneath it?
top it. I did top it right here.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, there you go.
Got 2 coming out of there.
The stems on the fan leaves are so long.
Yes, they're very long. And even the ones down here. But if you look through here, I mean, this plant is really growing well. It's just doing its thing. And so I'm excited to see what this one is going to do.
How much did you take off of that when you topped it?
So you know how when it's starting to sprout out like this, it was standing up, and I just cut it right there and left a little stem on there just so it wouldn't break or anything like that. So it keeps its rigidity.
Very cool. Very cool.
And then
All
this
right,
one,
Michael, what's that there? Is that
this one right here? I know it, guys. I'm telling you, cover crops are amazing. These cover crops is just giving this thing all kind of love and oxygen and moisture and everything. So if you notice, I am in a flower tent, and Golden Oreos is growing.
Right on.
Yeah, I could barely see it because of all the cover crop.
Yeah. Well, there she is.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect view there. Well, Michael, thank you for coming back on, man. I appreciate it. We got one more to bring on here, so we're going to let you go, but come back again for sure. This is an interesting experiment with the 2 plants in one pot. I have done it myself as well, but
no, it's cool to see it.
Yeah.
Sounds good, guys. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much. Have a great weekend.
Nice banner. See you, Michael. All right, we have Nectarified Farmer. I think that's how you pronounce it, but I could be wrong.
Yes,
Don't
that's,
just forgive me.
Bring you on. Please tell us how to pronounce it.
Nah, you got it, dude. Nectarified Farmer.
There
You
we
got
go.
it.
Perfect.
Oh, look at that. What do we have here?
We got 6 plants in a 4x4, scrogged out.
Oh, nice. If you turn your phone horizontal, you might get the full screen. Might give us better justice of this.
Oh, I think the thing is not flipping. Maybe your
Never mind.
screen's not turning, but that's fine.
Anyways, take it away.
It's 6 plants in a 4x4, scrogged out. It's day 59 right now, so we're real close.
Wow,
We got garlic sauce Wilson F3s from High Definition Genetics. And then there's a honey banana Wilson from Masonic.
Honey Banana Wilson.
Yes, sir.
The names are great, man. getting it.
And then I got 3 Soulfire crosses. These are all 3. This is one. This is the Gary Payton with hood candies. And then this is the Mad Dog, which is the purple marmalade with hood candies. And then the Bahama Bust Down with hood candies. Those are all Soulfire.
Right on.
And then I got a Donnie Burger crossed with skunk berries here. This is a buddy of mine created this, and he's calling it the Skunk Burger.
I love it. That's amazing. Oh man, that's so funny. I love the strain names over time, man. It's just like when I started, it was OG Kush, Purple Kush. Now we got nice little caption for strain names.
I remember, it was a long time ago, but they would just call it. You could either get a bag of weed or you could get some chronic. So which one did you want?
Yeah.
Chronic or the swag, dude?
Yeah, that's hilarious. Oh man.
No,
But I grow strawberries too. I grow strawberries in my tent, dude, down underneath the screen. So.
And that's enough light for them.
What's that?
It's enough light for the strawberries to stay under.
Yeah, it tends to keep them going right now. I mean, bunch of flowers. If I open them up, there's a bunch of flowers coming.
Right on. You can't go wrong with strawberries.
But yeah, I scrog, as you can see, scrog nation, baby.
Right on, man. That's awesome. No, they look great and great training. You're obviously a man that likes variety, so that's cool to see all those different strains in there together. You kept a very even canopy despite having the different strains. That's
yeah. It didn't do too terrible. I had to boost this one up a little bit, but you do what you can do.
Yeah, I've been there. I've had the triple riser stacked on top of each other before. Yeah.
No, thanks for showing us your plans.
Yeah, very good, man.
Yeah,
thanks for
thank you
coming on. Come back on again. Maybe next time you can show us
your new
the
new
start of
batch
a
of
run.
plans.
Yeah, right on, guys. Thank you, guys.
Cool. Cheers.
Appreciate
Have a
you.
great weekend.
Peace out. All right, guys. It is almost an hour. This has been very fun. It flew by for me.
I know.
Yeah.
Went
I
right
hope
by.
you guys enjoyed the show as well. We're going to get to the giveaway here. I'm only seeing 68 people in the house, so if you want to give it one more try and share this live so some people can get in on this second giveaway, we need to hit 100 people, and we'll do a gift card on the second giveaway. But for now, we're going to focus on our Big Bud Bundle giveaway. That's right. 40 entries so far. If you type in hashtag GrowIn2025, you will be entered into the giveaway. Like I said, 40 out of the 69 people watching now are in, so 29 more could be in this giveaway for your choice of bud pot size. That's right. Bud huggers, bud cups, and bud clips.
And bud clips, yeah, there'll be the black bud clips and the black bud cups. The bud huggers will be our yellow ones, the 16-foot ones. We'll send 3 of those, and also the bud pots any size.
Very cool. And yeah, here we go, guys.
That's it.
So
44. Let's give it a couple more seconds.
Yeah.
And I hope that everybody is having a good end of the first month of the year. It just went by so quickly, and like, wow, it feels like it was New Year's.
See, it's funny because most people say January lasted forever. I've seen people be like, January's been 3 months and one. But next time we'll be back, guys, is February 28th. That's Friday, the last Friday of February, whatever that is. It's only 28 days, so it might be a quick turnaround for us, which is great. But we got 46 people in there.
Let's hit that button.
Let's do it.
All right.
Who's going to be our big winner? The big winner will have to email hello@budtrainer.com with a screenshot showing that they're the owner of the account. And Dustin Riggers, that is unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
We got to look into him hacking, but congratulations.
I know.
Dustin, on the Big Bud Bundle. You get to pick your pot size. And
if you would like us to send it to someone else because you already got so many giveaways,
he's going to start a store, man. He'll just hold,
like
just
a friend you want to gift it to or whatever. Just send us a different address and we can send it to them as well.
Yeah, no, but that's amazing, man. You need to start playing bigger lotteries because you can, like, can only do so much with BudTrainer products. So they're fantastic. Don't get me wrong, but maybe try like a Powerball or something like
that's
that.
it. Yeah.
And then again, you can send us our cut for suggesting the idea.
All right, guys.
What else do you want to do?
Yeah.
By the intro.
Yeah, guys, thank you so much for coming. Have a great weekend. We'll see you in a few weeks.